Hello, all. The Irrational Skeptic here, and yeah, it's been a while. I know. I've been away, I guess. I will just say I've been a little bit busy with other things in my life. I've actually been searching for employment recently, so I've been going to job interviews and whatnot, and just life catches up with you, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And but I'm back now, so that's what matters, right? So I'm going to be continuing the MBTI Naruto Typing Series. Yup, you guessed it. And today, like I mentioned in my last video that I did about Sasuke, I am going to be doing the last character in uh, the original Team 7, uh, which is Sakura. So, yeah, um, get your counter ideas ready, and if you think I'm wrong, you can jump down into the comment section and let me know how and why I am wrong. But yeah, I believe that Sakura is an INFP. Yes, you guessed it. She is a dominant introverted feeler, auxiliary extroverted intuition, tertiary introverted sensing, and inferior extroverted thinking type. And my reasons for these, or for this, is as follows. Throughout the show, she shows qualities of a healer, and she is actually has that role within the show. At some point, she actually becomes a healer. But the reason I say this is because I am using a classification from the David Kiersey temperament sorter. He has the different temperaments. So she is within the NF temperament, but she is an INFP, which is a healer in his classification. As a comparison, the INFJ in that classification is the counselor. So you can see where I'm getting at there. But specifically to Sakura, I see that during the show, she is very concerned with the well being of different characters in the show. And particularly with people closest to her. So Sakura was very concerned with Naruto and Sasuke, and she was doing it up to an extent that would seem almost self-sacrificial in a manner. I always, whenever I think of her as an INFP, the scene where she jumps in between the fight that Naruto and Sasuke are having comes into mind. And the particular point that she jumps in is when Naruto is coming with his Rasengan and Sasuke is coming with his Chidori. So we see that they are both using their most powerful moves. These are their specialties, and they're coming at each other with them. And for anyone to see two people using very powerful moves and decide that, hey, I'm just gonna go jump in between them, I mean, it doesn't seem very practical. It doesn't seem very extroverted thinking, if you can see what I mean. That is inferior right there, but it is impulsed by a very strong feeling, a very strong ethic that why are these two friends fighting? These are the thoughts she was having during when that was going on, and it pained her, it hurt her to see two friends fighting. This has to do with her own individual feeling, and she took action based upon that. So he jumps in between them to try stopping them from hurting each other. This is my sort of proof towards INFP. In this, she particularly shows introverted feeling, and in this particular scene as well, she's showing introverted sensing. Because if you go back and watch the scene, you'll see that as they're fighting, she's remembering that, hey, these people are on the same team. They're supposed to like each other. And then she thinks about the bad troubled past that Naruto has, the troubled past that Sasuke has, and she's kind of just all, mixing up these ethics in the air. I really don't know how INFPs do this. I'm just going to be honest right here. They have some sort of magic way that they figure things out and they figure out what's right. But yeah, I'm gonna leave them to that. I am an INFJ, and I will actually just do a comparison of the INFJ to the INFP here because I think it's noteworthy. Even though they are both NF of the NF temperament, the INFJ is known as a counselor in the David Kelsey temperament sorter. So a counselor is more someone that will stand back, and they might talk to you and they might talk through things with you, but they are more of a guide. So they want to be doing less of the work. They want you to do most of the work of uh, fixing yourself. They can listen, they can give you ideas, um, they can, go back and forth with you. They can reinforce some positive ideas you have about yourself, but they're not going to be trying to heal you emotionally and physically and mentally. Um, they want you to go through that process on your own because at bottom they see you as the ultimate arbiter of your own destiny. The INFP, on the other hand, they have a different vision. Their perception of the world is different. So they can see the downtrodden, they can see the hurt people. And when they see this, they have impulse to help. Their impulse is not to stand back and go, okay, yeah, well, I'll help you talk through it, or I can listen to you, or I can, reinforce positive ideas about you. No, the INFP sees someone with a cut on their arm and they run and get a band-aid, come and they slap it on. That's the INFP. They see you emotionally scarred, they come in and they heal that scar. They don't want that scar as an injury. It's something that is hurting you. Um, and if they can alleviate your pain, they can, in return, in a sense, actually alleviate their own pain because this is part of what empathy actually is. Um, and this is actually why I see INFPs as being one of the more so empathetic creatures. I think INFPs and ENFPs are actually more empathetic. I think ENFJs and INFJs can be more sympathetic. And I know that INFJs are known to feel the emotions of others, um, and this is common to INFJs and MBTI circles, but I have actually a different conception of this. I do understand that they can feel others' emotions, but it's not in the same way that they're familiar with what those emotions really are. This is something that an introverted feeler knows because the INFJ is a little bit out of touch with their own feeling on a conscious level. They might be aware of it on an unconscious level, and it can be very powerful at an unconscious level, as described in many um, different typology theories like socionics does go into that. But because it's unconscious, I don't see how an INFJ can say that they are identifying a specific emotion, and they're trying to help that through. They might feel a discomfort, a disturbance in the force, is what I like to call it. And it's actually usually very similar sorts of emotions. They're a little bit black and white. I do not think it's very nuanced for the INFJ. But coming back to the INFP, Sakura is very specific in what she's trying to fix. She has lived with these two for a very long time. She has trained with them. So she has built up kind of a database of different feeling states that they both possess. And she can kind of see when it's going too far, when they're hurting themselves too much. So she tries to heal this. And through what I can see and I can mention as an unconscious, powerful, introverted intuition, which would be in her cognitive stack. If you look at the 8 function cognitive stack, introverted intuition would be her 6th function. So it's unconscious, but it is powerful. So I actually see that because during a point in the show, she decides not to go the route of becoming sort of a hardcore ninja. She does become powerful, but through other routes, I'll have to say. She steps back and decides to train as a healer. She decides to train as those who help people on the battlefield that are being injured. She comes in and she has learned all the jutsus to heal people. And this just solidifies more why I think she's an INFP and a healer. So if we look at the unconscious introverted intuition I'm talking about, she can kind of see where down the line Sasuke and Naruto are going to need her a lot. Not just the two of them actually. She can see how as the war will come to a head, someone that is in her role is going to be very needed. And even though she might want to become a ninja, she might want to be strong, she might want to show how strong she is. And we can see she has many thoughts about this. She has premonitions about this when she's younger in the show, where she wants to show how strong she is. But if we know about the MBTI, we know that extroverted sensing and extroverted thinking are known to be a lot or have a lot more to do with that immediate affect, and so being strong in the moment and planning things out and leading. But she realized that that was not her particular role, and that she could actually become stronger by following her own desired path, so to speak. So she stays back with Tsunade, who trains her in the arts of healing, but who also trains her on how to become strong. And this is the part where I will say that this is telling of how it is in order to become the strongest version of yourself, develop your other functions, and make yourself more whole. You have to pursue the path, sort of the path of least resistance, the path that you don't want to do because you think you're good at it anyways. So it's, oh, I'm good at introverted feeling, and I don't want to do that because I desire to do other things. And that is your inferior function kind of creeping upon you. Yes, you can always do what you're good at really well, but when it comes to your inferior function, you're going to seek it out in different ways. Um, and as far as she's concerned, she has extroverted intuition as an auxiliary function. So she can definitely find different avenues in which to try and express her extroverted thinking, which of course brings me to her intellectual bent that she has in the show. She's actually very smart, and she you can see her trying hard to be smart, and she surpasses her classmates in studies, and she learns jutsus much faster and much more precisely than Naruto and Sasuke. So I just say all this to point towards inferior extroverted thinking and how it might come off in its unhealthy state, because she actually does try to show off a little too much about how smart she is, and she wants to be taken notice for how smart she is, not for her feeling side, which starts to show more throughout the show when she starts to realize that her role is more so in the healing department. But yeah, I am going to leave this video here. It's getting a little bit lengthy, but let me know down in the comments if you agree with my typing of Sakura as an INFP. If you think she's another type, you can let me know. Disagreement is okay. Of course, these are fictional characters, so it's going to be a little bit subjective wholly about what type she is. And I might be cherry picking on some aspects while someone else can cherry pick other aspects and show her to be another type. But I think that throughout the whole theme of her type in the show, she definitely fits the role of an INFP. And that will be it. I'll leave it there. The Irrational Skeptic, signing off.